Do you ever wake up in the morning and feel a certain stiffness in your joints? A subtle reminder that your body's framework doesn't feel as solid as it once did. Perhaps you find yourself being extra careful when getting out of a chair or carrying groceries, haunted by a quiet fear of falling or breaking something. It's a feeling that can slowly chip away at your confidence and, more importantly, your sense of independence. To combat this, you've been diligent. You make sure to have your milk or yogurt every morning, believing you're giving your bones the calcium they desperately need. You're doing everything right, following the advice we've heard for decades. But despite your best efforts, you don't feel stronger. In fact, that sense of fragility seems to linger, leaving you frustrated and wondering if this is just an inevitable part of getting older that you have to accept. But what if I told you that this decline is not inevitable? What if the very meal you've been relying on to build your strength is, in a strange and hidden way, contributing to the problem? It sounds completely contradictory, I know. How could a breakfast of wholesome dairy and healthy whole grains, the very picture of a bone-building meal, be doing anything other than helping you? This is one of the most common and frustrating paradoxes I see, and it's based on a simple misunderstanding of how our bodies actually absorb nutrients after a certain age. There is a silent mechanism at play, an invisible interaction happening in your gut every morning that can prevent those vital minerals from ever reaching their destination. It's not about eating less or giving up your favorite foods. It's about understanding a hidden conflict that no one ever told you about. Over my years of focusing on healthy aging, I've spoken with hundreds of people just like you who feel this exact same way. They are intelligent, proactive individuals who are doing their best to take care of themselves, yet they feel let down by their own bodies. I want to assure you of something incredibly important right now. This is not your fault. You haven't failed, and you haven't been lazy. You've been following the established rules of nutrition, but what many of us weren't taught is that these rules can change as our bodies mature. The digestive system of a 60 or 70-year-old doesn't operate with the same efficiency as a teenager's. This common frustration isn't a sign of personal failure. It's a sign that a new, smarter strategy is needed, one that works with your body's current biology, not against it. In this video, I'm going to pull back the curtain on this exact process. We're going to talk about something called mineral blockers that are hiding in plain sight in your healthy breakfast. I will explain, using a very simple analogy, how these compounds can create a sort of traffic jam in your digestive system, essentially hijacking the calcium from your food before your body has a chance to use it. You will see clearly why this common food combination, while seeming perfectly healthy, can unintentionally work against your goal of maintaining strong, resilient bones. Most importantly, I will show you a simple, practical adjustment to your routine, a small tweak in timing and preparation that can help ensure those precious minerals are actually delivered where they need to go. It's an empowering piece of knowledge that puts you back in control of your health. Before we explore the science behind this and reveal the simple fix, I want to invite you to become part of this community. If what I've said so far resonates with you, and you're ready to learn how small changes can make a big impact on your strength and independence, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and click the like button below this video. It helps us reach and support more people who are on the same journey. I'd also be very interested to read what your go-to breakfast is in the comments section. There's no judgment at all. It simply helps all of us see how common these habits are. Now, let's get into the fascinating reason why your healthy breakfast might not be building the foundation you think it is, and what you can do about it starting tomorrow morning. To understand what's happening, we need to shift our focus slightly. For decades, the conversation around bone health has been centered on a single question: are you getting enough calcium? We've been taught to think in terms of quantity, carefully counting milligrams from our food and supplements. But what if that's only half of the story? The far more important question, especially as we get older, is not just how much calcium you're eating, but how much of that calcium your body can actually absorb and use. Your body can be flooded with minerals, but if the doors to absorption are closed, those vital nutrients will simply pass through without ever doing their job. This concept of bioavailability, what your body can truly take in, is the key to unlocking this entire puzzle and understanding why your best efforts might not be yielding the results you deserve. The reason for this absorption issue often lies with compounds that are naturally present in many of the healthiest foods we eat. I'm talking about something called phytates, or phytic acid. You can think of them as a plant's self-defense mechanism. They are found in the outer hull or bran of seeds, grains, and legumes. Foods like raw oats, wheat bran, and many dense whole grain breads. Now, I want to be perfectly clear. This does not make these foods bad. They are packed with fiber and other important nutrients. However, phytates have a very specific chemical property that can create an unexpected challenge inside our digestive system. They are what some nutritionists refer to as anti-nutrients, not because they are harmful, but because they can interfere with our ability to absorb other essential minerals from our meals. Here is how it works in your body. When you consume a meal containing these phytates, they travel down into your gut. Once there, they behave like tiny, powerful magnets. These phytate magnets have a strong chemical attraction to certain minerals, and they will actively seek them out and latch onto them. Among their favorite targets are essential minerals for bone health, including zinc, iron, and most importantly for our conversation today, calcium. So, as the calcium from your milk or yogurt mixes with the phytates from your whole grains inside your digestive tract, a powerful binding process begins. The phytates essentially grab onto the calcium molecules, refusing to let them go as they continue their journey through your system. It's a chemical hijack that happens silently after you finish your meal. Once a phytate molecule has latched onto a calcium molecule, they form a new, much larger, and more complex bundle. Our bodies are incredibly sophisticated, but they work on simple principles. The walls of our intestines are designed like a very fine filter, allowing only small, broken-down nutrients to pass through into the bloodstream to be delivered where they are needed. This newly formed phytate calcium bundle is simply too big and structurally complex to get through that filter. It cannot be absorbed. As a result, this hijacked calcium, the very mineral you ate to strengthen your bones, remains trapped and is eventually escorted out of your body as waste. You consumed it, but your body never got to use it. It was present at the party, but was never allowed inside the door. Let's use a simple analogy to make this crystal clear. Imagine that your bones are a destination we'll call Bone City. To keep the city strong and well-maintained, it needs regular deliveries of building materials, and the most important material is calcium. Now, think of your digestive system as the main highway that all delivery trucks must use to get to Bone City. In a perfect world, the trucks carrying calcium would have a clear, easy drive and make their delivery without any problems. But the phytates from your breakfast act like a sudden, massive, and unexpected traffic jam that appears on that exact highway, blocking all the lanes. It's a complete standstill, and it happens at the worst possible time, right when the calcium delivery is trying to get through. Now, picture what happens next. The delivery truck full of precious calcium arrives on the highway, only to get stuck in this massive traffic jam created by the phytates. It can't move forward to reach Bone City, and there are no side roads or detours available. It just sits there, trapped. Eventually, the highway has to be cleared, and all the stuck vehicles, including our calcium truck, are simply rerouted out of the area and sent away. The end result is that the crucial package of building materials never reaches its destination. Bone City is left waiting for a delivery that will never arrive. This is precisely what happens inside your gut. It's a delivery failure, not a supply failure. You are sending the package, but it's getting lost in transit. What makes this process so deceptive is that you don't feel it happening at all. There is no immediate discomfort, no stomach ache, no sign that anything is wrong. It is a completely silent and invisible interaction. The problem isn't the one time you have this meal combination. The real issue is the cumulative effect. When this mineral traffic jam happens day after day, week after week, for years on end, it can contribute to a subtle but significant negative mineral balance. Your body is consistently being deprived of the full amount of calcium it needs for its constant process of bone remodeling. Over a long period, this can lead to a gradual loss of bone density, making your body's framework more porous and fragile over time. So let's be very clear. This does not mean you should stop eating whole grains or fear these healthy foods. That is absolutely not the message. What it means is that our strategy has been incomplete. We've been focusing only on the ingredients of our meals, without understanding how they interact with one another inside our bodies. We've been creating this mineral traffic jam without even knowing it. Now that you understand this hidden mechanism, you can see that the problem isn't your body failing you, nor is it the fault of any single food. The problem is a specific combination and timing that creates an environment of poor absorption. This brings us to the most empowering part: identifying the invisible mistake and learning the simple way to clear the road for good. The invisible mistake, the one that creates this mineral traffic jam, is the specific combination of eating your main source of calcium at the exact same time as a concentrated source of these phytates. I'm talking about that classic healthy breakfast. A bowl of raw muesli or quick oats with milk, or a piece of dense whole wheat toast alongside a large yogurt. It's the very meal millions of us have been taught to believe is the cornerstone of a bone-building diet. It seems so right, so wholesome, and yet, because of the powerful binding action of the phytates in the unprepared grains, it creates an environment where the calcium is essentially locked away. The two foods, when eaten together in this specific way, work against each other inside your gut. You are diligently providing the materials, but you're also unknowingly sending in a team to block the delivery trucks at the gate. What makes this habit so incredibly deceptive is that you feel absolutely nothing wrong when you eat it. There's no stomach upset, no bloating, no immediate signal from your body that a problem is occurring. It's a silent biochemical event that happens long after you've enjoyed your meal and gone about your day. Unlike eating something sugary that might cause a crash in energy, this combination feels sustaining and virtuous. This lack of any negative feedback is precisely why the habit becomes so ingrained. The problem is never the single meal. It is the quiet, relentless repetition. It's the cumulative effect of this mineral blockade happening day after day for months and even years that slowly and methodically undermines the very foundation you are trying so hard to reinforce. It's a perfect example of a hidden stressor on your body's systems. The immediate effect on your bone health after one of these meals is, quite frankly, zero. This is crucial to understand. Your body has mineral reserves, and it's a resilient system. However, the true impact lies in the long-term cumulative deficit this creates. Think of your bones as a bank account. Every day, your body makes small withdrawals to use minerals for other functions, and it also tries to make deposits from the food you eat. When you consistently block the absorption of calcium at your first meal of the day, you are essentially ensuring that the first deposit is always rejected. Over time, the daily withdrawals start to outweigh the deposits. This leads to a gradual but persistent negative mineral balance, forcing your body to pull more and more from the bone bank account itself, just to maintain its essential functions. This slow, steady drain on your mineral reserves is what can contribute to a gradual loss of bone density. Your bones, which should have a strong, dense inner matrix, can begin to look more like a delicate sponge. They become more porous, lighter, and significantly more brittle. This is the underlying reality of conditions like osteopenia, which is the precursor to the more severe osteoporosis. It's not something that happens overnight. It is the result of a long, slow process of demineralization, a process that can be unknowingly accelerated by a seemingly harmless daily habit. You might not feel your bones getting weaker day by day, but this internal change is what sets the stage for a much higher risk of fracture later on, turning a minor incident into a major medical event. How does this internal fragility translate to your daily life? It shows up as that hesitation you feel before you push yourself up out of a low chair, or the extra care you take when walking on an uneven sidewalk. It's the reason why carrying a heavy bag of groceries feels more precarious than it used to. The real danger, however, is how this brittleness dramatically increases the risk of a serious fracture from a simple fall. A stumble that might have just caused a bruise in your 40s could now result in a broken hip or femur. This isn't just about pain. It's about a sudden, dramatic event that can profoundly impact your ability to move freely and live the active life you want. It's the physical manifestation of that quiet fear of breaking something. Ultimately, the most significant consequence of a major fracture is the potential loss of your independence. A broken hip, for example, often requires surgery, a hospital stay, and a long, challenging period of rehabilitation. For many, it marks a turning point where they can no longer live on their own or manage daily tasks without significant help. This is the deep-seated fear that so many people carry with them. The fear of becoming a burden on their family or losing the autonomy they've cherished their entire lives. It's the reason we are so diligent about our health in the first place. Understanding that a simple, correctable dietary habit may be contributing to this risk is a powerful motivator for change, because it puts the power to protect that independence back into your hands. Beyond the functional impact, there is also a visible one that can affect how you feel about yourself. This gradual weakening of the body's framework can lead to changes in your posture. You might notice your shoulders rounding forward, or the development of that curve in the upper back, sometimes referred to as a dowager's hump. Over time, you might even experience a slight loss in height as the vertebrae in your spine compress. When you look in the mirror, you may not see the vibrant, strong person you feel like on the inside. This can chip away at your self-confidence and make you feel older and more frail than you truly are. It's a constant physical reminder of a fragility that you are actively trying to fight, and it can be incredibly disheartening. Now, after hearing all of this, it would be easy to feel discouraged or even a little scared that you've been doing it wrong for so long. But I want you to take a deep breath and shift your perspective. The purpose of revealing this invisible mistake and its consequences is not to create fear, but to bring clarity. Knowledge is power. For the first time, you can see the clear, logical reason why your efforts might not have been paying off. You now understand the hidden mechanism. The problem isn't your body, and it isn't an inevitable part of aging. It's a simple matter of strategy, timing, and combination. And the best part is, because it's a strategic error, it has a very straightforward strategic solution that we are going to discuss right now. The solution, thankfully, is not about deprivation or complicated diets. It's about being smarter with our timing and preparation. We don't need to eliminate these wonderful, fiber-rich whole grains from our lives. We simply need to clear that mineral traffic jam we talked about. There are two very simple and effective ways to do this. The first is to strategically separate your main calcium source from your main phytate source. The second is to disarm the phytates in your grains before you even eat them. These adjustments are small, but their impact on your body's ability to absorb what it needs is significant. It's about making sure that the valuable calcium delivery truck has a wide open highway to get to Bone City every single day. This simple shift in strategy puts you back in the driver's seat, allowing you to work with your body's biology instead of unintentionally working against it. Let's start with the easiest adjustment: separating your sources. If your breakfast is typically a piece of whole wheat toast or a bowl of high-fiber cereal, that's perfectly fine. Continue to enjoy it. The simple tweak is to save your main calcium source, like a rich Greek yogurt or a glass of milk, for a different time. Instead of having it with your breakfast, enjoy it as a mid-morning or mid-afternoon snack, at least 2 to 3 hours apart from your grain-based meal. This time gap is crucial. It gives your digestive system enough time to process the phytates from your breakfast, effectively clearing the highway before the next delivery of calcium arrives. This way, the calcium from your snack enters your system without any interference. It finds no traffic jam, no blockades, and can be easily absorbed into your bloodstream to begin its important work. You still get to eat all your favorite foods, just in a more intelligent order. But what if you absolutely love your morning oatmeal with milk? Does that mean you have to give it up? Not at all. This is where our second strategy comes in: disarming the phytates through simple preparation. The highest concentration of these mineral blockers is found in grains that are raw or minimally processed. The key is to break them down before you eat them. One of the most effective methods is soaking. Preparing overnight oats by soaking your rolled oats in water with a splash of something acidic, like lemon juice or apple cider vinegar, helps to neutralize a significant amount of the phytic acid. The other powerful tool is heat. Simply cooking your oatmeal thoroughly, rather than just adding hot water to instant oats, also works to reduce the phytate content. This means a warm, well-cooked bowl of oatmeal is a much better choice for mineral absorption than a bowl of raw muesli or bran cereal. So the practical takeaway is this: the primary habit to adjust is combining a large serving of dairy, like a full glass of milk or a big bowl of yogurt, with a large serving of high phytate grains in the same meal. Specifically, we're talking about raw oats, wheat bran, and those very dense, heavy, whole grain breads. By applying one of our 2 simple strategies, either separating these foods by a few hours or properly preparing your grains by soaking or cooking them, you effectively solve the problem. Making this small adjustment your new daily habit, especially at breakfast, helps create a positive nutritional foundation for your entire day. It's not about achieving perfection with every single bite you take, but about consistently applying this principle to your main meals to ensure you are no longer unknowingly blocking the very nutrients you need the most. Now, it's important to have realistic expectations. You aren't going to feel your bones getting stronger overnight. Changes in bone density are a very slow process that can only be measured by your doctor over a long period. However, what you are doing is creating the ideal internal environment for your body to support itself. You are stopping a process that was undermining your efforts and starting a new one that supports them. Within a few weeks of making these changes, some people report better digestion and an overall improved sense of well-being. But the real, profound benefit is the quiet confidence you gain from knowing you are giving your body the building blocks it can actually use. You are actively taking a step every single day to preserve your strength, protect your mobility, and safeguard your future independence. I want you to hold on to this fundamental truth. Your body is a dynamic and responsive system, and it is never too late to make a positive impact. The process of bone remodeling, where old bone is broken down and new bone is built, never stops, whether you are 30, 60, or 90. Your body is always trying to heal and maintain itself. By making this simple adjustment, you are no longer fighting against its natural processes. Instead, you are giving it the tools it needs to do its job more effectively. This isn't about reversing decades of time. It's about honoring the body you have today and providing it with the best possible support to carry you forward with strength and resilience. Your body has an incredible capacity to respond when you give it what it needs in a way it can use. Ultimately, understanding this hidden mechanism is about moving from a place of quiet frustration to a place of empowered action. It's the relief of knowing that the feeling of fragility isn't just an inevitable fate you must accept. There was a logical reason for it, and there's a logical solution you can apply starting with your very next meal. These small, consistent adjustments are what build a foundation of long-term health. You are not just changing your breakfast, you are changing your entire internal environment to one that fosters strength. You are taking back control, not through some extreme measure, but through simple, powerful knowledge. You have the ability to support your body's framework, protect your independence, and continue to live a full, active, and confident life for all the years to come.